Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He won't grow tired. He will not be weary. No one can understand his depth. But to the weary, he will give strength. To the weak, he will give power. Even when the youths stumble or fall or can't quite light a fire to save their lives, can't get the difference between a square knot and a grainy knot, he will renew their strength. For all, young and old, who will wait upon him, who will trust in him, who will set their hope upon the Lord, the everlasting God, the creators of the ends of the earth. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. And if you have scouting-aged children, boys or girls, then perhaps like me, you watch them and want just a little of that boundless energy, maybe that you could drink for later. So as they're running around and screaming and climbing and jumping on things and off things, we can keep up at least a little. To see the energy and the life of youth. To remember how we might have been way back in the day. Back before putting on our shoes and our pants left us winded. Back before pitching a tent used to take us all night. Back before chasing after children or grandchildren left us wondering where all the time went, all of our strength went, all of our health went. And yet to know that God is good. He is merciful, He is strong, He is mighty to save, and for those who will put their hope in Him, He will not let us down, but instead He will raise us up. Like wings of Eagle Scouts, He will raise us up. Am I doing that too much? This is Scout Sunday. I'm trying to connect the dots here. Okay, it can be a little cheesy when I make every reference a scouting reference, but it is a privilege and joy to be able to welcome in Scouts, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. We even have some Girl Scouts here somewhere, though not in uniform. And to know that they are a part of our wider parish family and that today we might worship together. Today we might give thanks to God for all the gifts and blessings He has offered to us. But today, on the 105th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America, we may give special thanks that over those decades and years, for more than 100 of those years, as a matter of fact, Scouting has taken men and young women and grown them in virtue, grown them in skill, grown them in leadership, in humility, in integrity. And it has been a force for good, for godly blessing within our nation and all across the world. That's a wonderful thing to be thankful for, and a blessed thing to have the opportunity to participate in and partner with. So Scouts, families, you are most welcome here. And we give thanks to God for what you are doing in the lives of these boys and how we have the privilege here at St. Stephen's of helping that out. Of taking these young boys and growing them into men who understand the concepts of honor and of duty, of taking oaths and keeping them, Sometimes when it's not easy, or it's not cool, or it's not simple or straightforward. Now don't get me wrong, I really like the scouting uniform. The Cub Master will testify to this. I love it. Has it ever felt a little awkward or uncomfortable wearing it? You ever worn it at school, or out at a show and sell, or out at some sort of event, and people kind of look at you funny like, Jackie, really? They want to come look at your badges, and they want to ask about baking or flowers. It maybe isn't so cool to be a scout anymore. And that's a shame. That the world takes us away from good and godly things and encourages focusing on things that are very small, very petty, very foolish, spending a lot of time and effort and energy on things that will not last. Things that won't last even for a few days, let alone for a few years, let alone for the rest of your life. We live in a time and in a society that says narrow your vision and focus in on what's hip and happening and cool. Focus in on what is admirable and good to yourself only. Focus in on taking care of number one. By the way, number one is me, it's not you. And chase it with all that you've got. Chase what you want. Chase what feels good. Chase what is easy and simple, that gets pats on your back, money in your pockets, and makes you look like a big, cool guy. And it narrows your focus on these very small things. It says, don't bother looking around. Don't bother looking at each other. Most certainly don't bother with going outside and doing anything stupid like camping. There's nothing out there that a little bit of air conditioning and a giant TV can't do better. And it makes our focus very, very small of the things in this world that will not and that cannot last. The things that Jesus himself say, moth consumes, rust destroys, thieves can steal. For 105 years and even more, the virtues of scouting has said, don't narrow your focus. Don't narrow your gaze, but instead, in the words of the founder and chief scout, Robert Baden-Powell, look wider. Look wider than just yourself. Look wider than just your wants. Look wider than just your own accolades or for number one. Look wider than just the destination that this world will try to convince you is the only thing that's worthwhile. Look wider because you were made for more. To follow Jesus is neither boring nor small. It is the greatest adventure that we can engage in. For it is an adventure that will carry us throughout our entire lives and can carry us on into eternity. Rather be focused on things that are small. The accolades that one day will go away. The stuff that will one day be lost or broken or stolen. To follow Jesus lays up treasures in a place that no one can ever touch or take from you. That can lead you through the deepest and darkest of valleys, even those with the shadow of death. Can lead us to the very heights of the mountaintop and do so with his glory and with his joy. Who can take us through the boring times and the fun times, the exciting times through the hard times, through the suffering and through the delight, through the in and through the out, every single day. And bring us on adventure after adventure after adventure. To follow Jesus is again to take our gaze off of that which is small and fleeting and to look wider to the glory of God that spills out all over this great world. To look wider and see His blessings, His joy, and His call for our lives in and out, day by day, throughout every day and year of our lives. This phrase, look wider, comes from Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of Scouting in England, and it comes through a famous essay that he wrote about two different people heading to the same destination on the top of the mountain. But the first person, with determination and a narrow focus, said, I'm just going to go up. No, don't look at me. I've got my blinders on. Nothing to see over there. Nobody to help. No one to encourage. I've got a plan. I've got a goal. And by golly, no one will stop me. While that person might indeed reach the goal they have set, they will find that it is a goal that is far smaller than they ever imagined, and that they have missed everything else that God has granted along the way. He says for the second person who will take that scenic route, who will stop and smell those roses, who will look around and see that he's not the only one climbing, but give encouragement, help, and leadership to those who are going on behind, that not only will there be blessings and joys along the way, as long as you will look wider, you will see them everywhere, but even the destination itself will be better, will be sweeter, will be bigger, will be more joyful. And that's what Scouting has done. It says, wear the uniforms, and who cares if they say they're cool or not? Learn the skills. Who cares if you can't tie that knot the first 3 times? Learn the skills. It's worth it to be able to row that canoe in the right way. To be able to build a fire that will actually light and last. Spend time with one another and offer to your fellow scouts friendship and fellowship and encouragement. Lift up the ones who are lagging behind and cheer on the ones who need encouragement. It says be a leader, even when it's real easy not to. Make a difference, even when everyone else says, why bother? Be trustworthy, be loyal, be helpful, friendly, courteous, kind. Be obedient, be cheerful and thrifty, be brave, be clean, be reverent. The world will say, why bother? The world will say it's not important. The world will say those attributes do not get you to where you want to go, but if you will look wider, you will see it has everything to do with it. To be loyal, to be dependable, that others can depend on you and you on them. It's not the easy thing to do. It is way easier to say, you made me mad, you broke your promise, you're out, you're done, see you later. It's harder to be friendly, especially when people are not friendly to you. Courtesy, what's the point? Obedience. Come on now. Most of you are teenagers. Obedient, really? Who worries about being cheerful? And thrifty, I'd rather spend what I have. Get all the cool stuff I can get. Bravery is for chumps. And clean? Let's not get into clean, shall we? And yet, the virtues of scouting as expressed through that law. The virtues of scouting expressed through the oath where promises are made to do duty to God, to country, to others, and to self. Says that these paths, which are not easy, which are not encouraged by anyone else, these paths are right. These paths are good. These paths are better. Even if they feel like they wind around. Even if they feel like it takes more on myself that other people don't seem to fool with, because when I get to the destination, not only will the destination be better, I will be better too. For these skills, the practices, the meetings, the camping, the fellowship, the friendship, they change you into a different person. They grow you into someone new. And through the grace of God, His virtues shape you into being the men, or for you girls, into the women the Lord has created you to be. I don't care if it's easy or not. The right thing to do is to be trustworthy. I don't care if everyone else says don't bother. I will be loyal. Who cares if I don't get anything out of it right now? I'm going to be helpful. I'm going to be friendly. I'm going to be courteous. I'm going to be kind. Everything in this world says follow your own heart. I choose obedience. My own hormones say walk around scowling and make faces at everyone. Oh no, I'm going to be cheerful. The money burns holes in pockets, but being thrifty is better. And even when the world says look out for number one at the exclusion of everyone else, it is worth it to be brave and even clean and most assuredly reverent. For the Lord offers so much in this life. So much through His presence, so much through His fellowship, so much through His Spirit, which He offers to us. So don't make your gaze so narrow and small. Hear the words of the chief scout who says, look wider. It's worth it. Look wider. It will make the destination sweeter and it will make you better. You will reach it, maybe slower than the other guy, but with strength and ability, with integrity, and even with power. And the sort of person, man and woman alike, who can make a difference in this world for good. Through how you live, how you treat others, through fulfilling your duty to God, to country, to others, and to yourself, making this world a better place than the one which you found. Lord Baden-Powell says, so in our work, indeed, in any work in life, we should look forward, well forward, with high aims and hope. Look around with joy and goodwill. Look back with thankfulness of what has been accomplished, and then press on with renewed vigor, with helpful initiative, and with broad outlook towards the highest goal. Not forgetting to give a helping hand to others as we go, but when you look, look wide. And even when you think you are looking wide, look wider still. We were meant for so much more in the petty and small things of this world. Thanks be to God for the gift of scouting that helps open our eyes and keep our gaze wider and wider and wider. Wide enough to encompass each other. Wide enough to encompass the blessings of this world. Wide enough to see the glory of God right here in front of us. Through these virtues, through this time, we will be different, prepared to do a good turn, to make the world a better place, to bring glory to God, and to wait on Him with patience, with trust, and with hope. And to be assured that when we do so, He will renew our strength, even when we fail. He will offer His power, even when we are weak. And for young and old alike, He will renew our strength so that we might soar as with wings of eagles. To His praise, to His glory, for the benefit of our children and grandchildren, to fulfill your oaths and your duty, that our Lord, who has begun a good work in you, may bring it to his faithful conclusion, and that what you learn now may prepare you for the rest of your life and for eternity with him. He might build his kingdom through you and bless his world. And at the end, you would have made this place just a little better than the world you received. So may the great scoutmaster of all scouts be with you until we all, in his glorious presence, meet again.